And it brings you into the body and out of the head if you've been in the head, and if you've been on a journey where you've gotten out of body the because of the distress of whatever's going on during this changing time in the world. And we'll be doing this for a while. This is, someone wants to know what the new normal is. The new normal is kind of this crazy changing time. The new normal is that the Ho'oponopono practice, which I just played, is, forgive me. I'm sorry. And you could talk to the earth this way. I'm sorry, earth. Forgive me. Um, I love you. Or thank you. Thank you so much, earth. And then I love you. And the same goes to the ocean and the sky, or the parts of the earth, all the parts of the earth. And then honoring that the journey, you're not separate from all that happens on the earth, and earth's not separate from you. So the earth, is suffering in its own way, and the earth, is saying, forgive me for what's happening, forgive me. And then, thank you for being with me, humans and all animals and all beings. This is, you're all part of me. And I love you. I love every part of who you are on the planet, and all the beings that are connected, and all the, just imagine in your consciousness the number of beings that you're not separate from. All of the animals that we've brought into our classes. Imagine all the animals in the ocean that are suffering, all the animals on the land that are suffering. And your heart is that big, and you have that much resilience, just like the city of New York is going to be resilient during climate change. Just like Mur built those steps. Just like when you were a child, maybe you built something out of twigs, or piled shells up, or dug holes in the sand. And going back to that part of you that is that child, that has the innocence, that has the childhood wonder, and holding a place in your heart of wonder, like that wonderment for what Mur has shared with us, the wonderment for what's happening on the planet, including the difficulty, but the wonder of, wow, amazing. We're living at a time like this. Now, humanity's gone through a lot of hitting bottom times, and they've been very resilient and come back up. We shall see. You're living at an amazing changing time on the planet. And look what we're doing. We're Zooming yoga. We're creating community online. We're giving each other support, and it's like having a giant hug every time I see your smiling faces. It's like giving a giant hug every time someone brings something painful to our session. And we can embrace that with hugging. Because we know hugs, we can use our mirror neurons to think about how we could hug Miss Eastland. How could we hug all those who are suffering? How can we open our heart as we bring gratitude through the heart for what we do have? Gratitude as we're breathing, gratitude, appreciation, caring, and compassion. Gratitude lights up the lights of the heart, the neurites. They call them neurites, and I'm so glad because it has the word light in it. Neurites. Connecting to the brain, us connecting to each other. And if you could bring the flower of life forward, remember that you are actually physics. You are actually geometry. You are actually the flower of life. And you are really, truly light. We're not any of those other things that are happening. Even someone going through the most difficult time, like Miss Eastland of the Meadows School, holding that space and all the other people that are thinking about her at this time, holding her in our hearts for her journey. And it may be a journey of transition. We don't know. And since life is, since death is certain and the time of death is uncertain, what is the most important thing? And some people would say it's to be closest to God, or whatever you think of as God. It might be the, closest to the spiritual nature of the human. To be able to release when needed. So physical, emotional, spiritual, intellectual, relational. The holistic self of the human. And yoga does everything. The research on yoga and the vagus nerve is remarkable. The vagus nerve touches every organ of the body, and yoga stimulates it and it tones it. It calms it if it needs calming, and it excites it if it needs excitement. And it's the 10th cranial nerve. And in numerology, that's one, the number one. You just add the two numbers, 0 and 1, to the 10th cranial nerve, and the power of oneness. Here we are. The vagus nerve, the power of oneness. So take a deep breath in and let it out with a sigh, as though you could release any tension you have for anything. So imagine you're breathing in this fresh new energy that's energizing your every cell of your body, cell level healing, and you're exhaling out and letting go of all the things that make you frozen, that bring you stress, that create the anxiety, that create the sadness. And so that we can actually take our love and we can send it to those in need. Our compassion, our open heart, our connection in the flower of life of the power of 8, the flower of life connected all together, no separation. And at the same time, we are so big, we can send it to the earth and all the parts of the earth and all the beings of the earth. The yoga practice and the, the Buddhist inspirations and the Hindu inspirations and the Zen inspirations from the Chinese understanding and all the Asian understanding, they all are one. Even all of the martial arts, it's all the same. Body-mind practices that help us be fully present in the moment and help us be able to open our hearts and spread our energy to those in need, while still having the boundary for ourselves and knowing that we need to keep ourselves vibrant, strong, radiant, excited, creative. The call is for cultural creatives. Be a cultural creative at this time, calling all who can come together to bring our creativity in the littlest way, like building some stairs. That's even bigger than the littlest way. You can make a meal for yourself. You can find a way to have better sleep. You could take a walk in nature and meditate as you walk. Little ways, bigger ways. It's all creative. It's all life-giving. And what you give life to yourself, you give life to everyone. When you give love to yourself, you give love to everyone. You expand your ability to give love out. And smiling, right where you are, smile. Smiling, it ignites and calms the vagus nerve, just smiling. And so you might collect smiles on any time you're out there. Collect smiles. You go past somebody. If you don't have to wear a mask, we don't have to wear a mask anymore outside, and when we're in nature and big open air, pretty much. Smile. Smile and collect the smiles. Say hi to people with a smile. Imagine yourself collecting smiles, and then bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath in and out. Again, just as though you could release it all. start anew. And most of you probably are down on the floor. And so stay down on the floor and pull your knees into the chest. Maybe you have done some movement and maybe you haven't. Roll the knees in a circle. Ah. And I want to hold my friend George in my heart because he's having back surgery today. Ah. And he's one of my daughter's best friends. And I want to hold Tia in my heart, and all the people that are suffering that have been brought into our class. And now we have Miss Eastland and all the people that know her who are worried for her and hurting and sad, and hold them all. Bring the knees into the chest, open the knees wide, bring the head up, and let's hold all the amphibians with the reclined frog. I want to hold all the amphibians because they're very sensitive creatures, and they're always, all the different pesticides and herbicides hurt them. And then head back down and feet into the air, and let's hold all the babies in our heart, all the babies that have been born, and let's just hold in our heart that they see their 60s, that they make it to 60 years old, and that we turn it around. We know that humanity can do this. We can help the earth turn it around. And then shake that out. And roll the ankles and have a little respect for all the insects, because the insects are so small. They have found there's more insects of the animal kingdom than any other animal, because they have found so many tiny little places that they can live. And roll the ankles and wrists. This is the dead bug posture, because their life cycle is much shorter than all of ours. So we get to experience all their little lives in their life cycle. Goes really pretty quickly. Then pull the knees in, bring your head up to the knees and the hands down as far to the feet as they'll go. And notice how we make ourselves tight. And this is when we do hold. We don't want to hold it in. We want to let it go. But we need to experience the opposites. So this is the opposite. We make ourselves small, and then we make ourselves big. 5-pointed star, so big. Oh, and just feel yourself in 5-pointed star, and every place your body touches the floor, where it touches the floor and where it doesn't. And just be in this experience for a moment as you imagine this peach-colored transformational light coming up from the earth. Surrender to the gravitational field. Know that you have an electromagnetic field. The earth has a gravitational field and electromagnetic field. They're related because it's all related in the quantum field. It's all really light. It's all vibration. It's all sound and light. So take a moment to see yourself in your imagination, in your vibration. Let it shimmer outside your skin in the light of the visible spectrum that we know, the rainbow of light, and then into the electromagnetic spectrum that you know, but you can't see because your brain isn't trained to see it. But we're in the 5th dimensional understanding now. We're moving from 3 dimensions to 5th. And we've had a big leap during this year. Then bring the feet flat on the floor and arms by your side, and open up the 2nd chakra, going with the flow. Inhale up and exhale down as you flow the body up like the river. And opening up that 2nd chakra is your creativity, it's new beginnings, it's birthing. And consider the rebirthing. We've studied, sa, ta, na, ma. Inhale up and exhale down. Let it flow. Go as slow as you need to. And if the arms don't feel good above your head like this, then just keep the hands down by your sides. Inhale up, filling the lungs, exhale down, moving the energy. Opening the 2nd and 3rd chakra. Remember that 3rd chakra is the power, the resilience, the radiance, the shining, the strength. It's the eagle. So finding your eagle within yourself. And you can think of that eagle with those white head and white tail, and then the black, and then the yellow beak. Think of that eagle that has made such a comeback just from us understanding that that DDT was killing the animal, was making it extinct, and just changing our use of one pesticide has brought an animal back. Keeping that in your heart to know that we can do it everywhere. And we each want to contribute however our body, mind, spirit says to contribute. Wherever we're guided, that's where our gift is guiding us. And we have to use our intuition, our imagination, our inspiration, and our integration of all our wisdom, because we are the wisdom keepers. Then open yourself and hold for a moment and strengthen the back body, pressing the hips up towards the ceiling, finding that strength of the core that is going to help you be resilient and strong and radiant and shining and being the eagle within yourself. And then hold the posture for a moment and just be there. Take a couple breaths here, arms above your head or down by your sides, and you're just hanging out for a moment in your strength. Then see if you can hold here, and if you can't, just let it go or bring a block or cushion underneath the sacrum and walk in place. That walking in place will be a little test for you of how strong you are. Now you can also squeeze at the pelvic floor. And if you're super tired or you're sick or you've lost your strength because your digestive system has been outrageous for 3 weeks, then you might not have the strength right now, but you can get it back. So lifting one leg up and down, and then bringing both feet on the floor, arms down by your sides. Deciding whether you can stay here or you need to let go. Come up onto the toes if it feels good to you. And then in mindfulness, with intention, drop the spine down, noticing how the vertebrae come down, one vertebra at a time, all the way down. Some of them come down together. Then lengthen out the legs and shake them out. Let it go. Then stretch the arms above your head and inhale, hold the breath as you stretch from the heels of the hands to the heels of the feet, and hold the breath as another breath pattern and stretch the whole body out. You can even reach side to side or across the body, right hand to left leg. Just see what your body wants to do. And when you feel like that breath has been held enough, and then hold it and hold it and hold it, making that tension, seeing the opposites, tension and release, and then just release it. Releasing the tension. Releasing all of it. Releasing all of that is in your consciousness, even the tension of holding space for other people. Release it right now and just be fully present with yourself. And then back to the core before we go anywhere else, to hands behind your head or just pressing into the lower back and releasing. And then lifting, shoulders up, head looking at the ceiling, feet maybe off the floor, you decide, legs extended, you decide. Exhale as you come up. Again, we need this. This is strengthening the light. This is strengthening the sun within us. This is strengthening the resilience as we exhale and come up. Now, if you're really exhausted, and again, your body might have made you exhausted over the last 3 weeks, then just, no, feet on the floor, look at the ceiling, lift the shoulders up, just do a little bit. And if it's even, if you ever feel like you can't do even that, then you're just pressing the lower back into the floor and releasing. So there's always something you can do. It's getting yourself disciplined enough to come to your mat and go, I'm going to spend 15 minutes on my mat. Or put on really good music. I usually put on something for an hour and I see how far I get. And I do this, this practice that I've taught you over this whole year. And then hold the posture. And we can't do everything in one session. So you know that you've got options. And then pull the knees in, take a deep breath in and out. Then any kind of side to side, and we're just trying to get the sides of the body activated for this core strengthening. Elbow up, maybe it's just the hand, but still remember this is also brain brain practice. It's crossing right and left. This is your analytical side and your creative side, and you're crossing them over so you can be whole. Some of us are more in our analytical side, and some of us more in our creative side, and we want to balance them. You can go to elbows, you can bring your feet off the floor, you can lengthen out your legs, and you can also go to this one that I've shown you where you hold the bottom of your foot and the knee, and you try to do the exhale on both sides. So it's an exhale, exhale. I like to blow out. When I blow out, the natural inhale comes. You can always have a hand behind your head for this posture. And you don't have to do that one. You can always go hand, hand, or feet right up. You just want to choose what's right for you. It doesn't matter what it looks like. You're just going to start to feel it, and then pause on one side and then pause on the other side. And you just want to feel it, and then bring your head down and pull the knees in and roll the knees in a circle. Rock yourself up and onto your hands and knees. And we are going to try to do the leg stretch series today at the end of the class. So right now we'll get onto our hands and knees. And you know this one. And these simple postures are so profound, what's going on in the body. And we're keeping our discs, healthy. The discs and the spine, when they lose their discs, then you've got, bone on bone, and then something starts to be fused in the spine. So you want to keep them moving. And you may already have some of that happening, and you just want to keep them moving. The more you move every aspect of the skeleton, the more those bones are going to respond and stay healthier. Then pause in one direction and feel the shape. And know your spine. You want to know your spine. You want to know your knees. You want to know your elbows. You want to know your shoulders. You want to know everything about, as much as you can, about your body. You want to know your vagus nerve. And you want to know what to do for it. And I sent that out in a handout, and it's really good to read that handout. It's just it's a culmination. It's a combination of things I got off the web, and I created my own handout for it. Then the other direction. So if you were in one curve, then go in the other curve. And then still staying hands and knees. And remember to protect your knees if they need protection. Do a little rolling of the spine. So it's a little bit different. You're reaching with either the head or the forehead or the chin. I'm going to change directions in a moment. Breathing. And then the opposite direction. Opposite direction. I started leading with my chin, and now I'm leading with the top of my head. And then pause. Tuck the toes behind you and up. There's so many possibilities we can do in yoga, and it's just come to like, okay, well, if you really learn one practice really well and it really is suiting you and you really are kind of addressing all the body throughout the week, then you don't need to know a whole, like hundreds of postures. So stretching the backs of your legs like we've done, heel walking, then looking at the hands and walking forward, elbows on the knees, bending the knees and coming up, arms come above your head to help you balance, and then down to the heart. And because I want you to always recognize that laughter yoga is really available, and I want you to smile more, think of love. Think of sprinkling yourself with love. And think of like, is there something that represents that to you? And for me, it's colorful, soft, colorful, multicolored, soft, fragrant rose petals. And we're coming into this amazing time of roses in Oregon. They're just starting to bloom, the fragrant roses. And and so that's what's coming to me. The other thing that comes to me is lavender. So if you have a source of these things, you can go out and smell them. And you can go out and imagine being someone, just you standing there and showering like rose petals on you. So here we go. With our fingertips, we are imagining whatever you want, but imagining the rose, if you want to join me in mine and be mirror neurons with me. And you take a deep breath in, and you've got to find that fake laughter, and you got to let it go. And you go, and again, then you go, very good, yay, don't be shy. Very good, yay, very good, yay, very good, yay, one more time, and yay. We could do that every time someone has an accomplishment. We could go, very good, yay. Instead, we sprinkle. And that's where I got it from. Let's sprinkle this. Sparkle. I'm sorry. Let's sparkle that. Okay, so then we're back, and heel toe. We calm the body. We feel the energizing. So feel what's going on from what we've done so far. Then lift the left arm up and come to the side. So this is another stretch of the spine. The spine has 6 directions. Hand can be on the waist. Hand can be below you. Hand can also be above your head. I've got my fingers laced with my pointer finger up. But you don't want to do something like that if your shoulder comes forward or your neck does something weird. You want to choose the one that's right for you. You want to imagine that the left foot is going into the earth, and you're making a half moon or a quarter moon, whatever kind of moon, but you're making that curve of a circle, even though you can't see that. So the right hand on the waist, the left hand is up, or maybe you're opposite me. That's okay. And you can put your hand down. That's a little more weight on the body, less support. And then you can put your hands above your head, even less support, but pull in at the abdominals, squeeze the pelvic floor, and you'll find out you might have more strength there than you realize. You might have that strength. It's just you've got to engage it. You've got to remember to engage the core. And then back up over to the other side. Now, again, hands above your head, left hand supporting that ability to go to the left, coming from the right side, right foot into the earth, as though you have a little rooting there into the earth. It takes a little bit of weight off of that left side. So you're just experiencing the body in this other curve, this C curve, they call it, or the moon curve. Again, your arms can be up, and that you'll see that is a lot of weight that's going to that side. So you have to use that abdominal. And remember, it's like a diaphragm down there at the pelvic floor. You want to use that too. And you're breathing, holding, being, and then up. Then just a little bit of movement here to get the movement going side to side. So the spine needs a lot of, everything comes from the spine. You can live without arms and legs, but you can't live without the spine. So remember that. So when someone does have a spinal injury, it is, definitely their amygdala, their every possible thing that's going to try to save their life is going to be at work when there's spine going on. Okay, and down. Shake it out. And we know about shaking. Even if you just did shaking every day, you would be doing something really good for yourself. Can make it a dance. Make it a dance. Ooh, 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 ooh. Shake it out. Good. Oh, very good. Yay. All right. Okay. One-footedness. Now, when we did that on the floor, that cross crawl, if you study energy medicine a little bit, you'll find that even when you take, let's say this was a bag like a backpack or something, and I had it on one shoulder and I went out on a walk. Okay, so that's it. It cuts the energy from one side to the other. And if you look at this energy medicine stuff and you see what Donna Eden did, you go, wow. And then when you do cross crawl, it restores it. So you can do it on the floor, you can take a walk, but you have to make sure that you're not doing homolateral movement, which, the pictures of armies that are taught around the world, Korea and Hitler's armies, they actually were taught because it actually prevents their brain from going back and forth. So that was part of that whole teaching of homolateral movement instead of side to side. Oh, and once you do it, you have to then restore it. You want side to side, crossover. And I've told you before, some children have a hard time reading because their eyes can't cross over the page. And then sometimes the work with them is to get them to do cross crawl. So that will help you with balance. So if any of you have any trouble with balance, then the cross crawl will always help you with balance. So come onto the left foot. Bring the right foot up. Now, of course, you can go to the wall here. I want to show you this one again where it stretches the hip a little bit. So the left foot, and you can go to a wall, and you get there and you kind of bend your knees to give you the grounding, and then bring that left foot up and cross it over the leg and bring your hands to your heart. See if that works for you. If it doesn't, put one hand on the wall. Now you can also do this if you need more support. You can do that on the wall like that. You can have that support there. You're still working with, how do I use one foot instead of 2 feet to get myself balanced? So, you might have a table that you're holding onto, or a chair, top of a chair. Then you can also put your hands above your head, and you can also sit down further and further and further. But hands at your heart is a lot easier. Could be on your waist, doesn't matter where the arms are. And your hand could be on the wall, one hand on the heart, and then let it go. You have to use your quad a lot, where that's what we're doing. And then left foot, let's get that cushion out of the way. Left foot, and again, the wall is one of those things you can, I don't know which one's easier to see. I'm on my mat here. That's the left. Get onto the right foot, and then knee comes up. You have to, it does require the hip, hands at your heart. Now, if you needed to, that leg could be up on a chair. So what's a nice way to practice this a little bit is you can always, get there and have your knee somewhere held up by, this is a stool, but something, and you're getting there and you don't have to do everything. And you're also stretching that hip, but you're feeling that foot, that right foot on the floor, holding you. Then release that and shake it out. And so today we're going to come back down to the floor. And before we do, I want you to grab, your towel, your strap, your whatever you have. And I don't know if you all have one, but I kind of should have told you at the very beginning to remember to have it. But something, you could just grab something, a scarf, a belt, a piece of rope. It doesn't have to be, it could be one of the stretchy bands. And we're going to drop down to the floor and roll down the spine, step back, knees down. Before we come to that posture, we're going to stretch back into child. And just breathe into the lower back. And then we're not going to stay there a long time because looking at the time. And then come back down to the floor and find your strap. Now, if you know enough postures that if you don't have a strap, we have about 10 minutes left and before we close. And so You might just do any one of the other things that you would like to do for the next 10 minutes. We do a lot of different closing postures, but we just haven't done this in a while, and it felt like my legs needed it, and that I always find that when after I do this series, I always feel more freedom in my legs, because so much of our tension gets held in the legs. It's first chakra. It's the earth, it's our earth walk. So a lot of tension gets stored in the legs, and it stores our history. If my legs could speak, imagine, the steps you've taken. Now, active isolated stretching helps the back of the leg. This first stretch is really those back hamstrings behind the knee, attached to the pelvis. And so for me, that's the tightest area. And it's the one that I have to work on every day to keep looser. And then hold again. Flex the foot. Left foot on the floor to help the lower back. Left foot extended for if you don't need that. And you don't want to overstretch it, and you don't want to understretch it. And you want to see, where is it the exact place where, my knee would bend if it got too high up. And see what happens when you flex your foot. You're just exploring. Then take the strap into the right hand, or have a block nearby, or a cushion, because you can always take that and come down to the right, lengthen out the left leg, because it's going to ground you into the earth, or elbow to the floor. You're strengthening the shoulder, the right shoulder, and the right bicep, and the right hand and forearm. Everything's strengthening with this. You can hold the strap in two hands or one hand. And that block can be put up higher on its edge if you have one of these. And they're $4. You can buy them at TJ Maxx here in Corvallis. I don't know the places in the other cities, but one day when I invite you to Corvallis for our outdoor gathering this summer, then you could always go to TJ Maxx. They have so much exercise equipment. And if you're out there in the world, like where's the other place? Oh, Woodburn has one, a TJ Maxx. Then lift it up and over. And again, you can put that block between your legs or a cushion. Remember, you can always use cushions, and you have to practice this of like, when do I use these equipment? And you can let go of that if you don't need it. And the left side of the body is on the floor, grounding you. The right side is stretching from the piriformis muscle right there at the inside that glute, all the way down the iliotibial band, all the way down that right leg. And then look at your foot, make sure it's not twisted in a funny way. And just take a moment to feel the sensation all the way down your leg. Take a breath or two. And bring it up. Left foot on the floor, cross it over. A lot of it, sometimes it's just enough to give you the feeling and sensation and understanding of what's going on. Lace the fingers behind that left leg or on top of that left knee. Or foot on a block, foot on a wall, foot on the edge of a couch. You won't have to use your arms then if you put your foot up. Lots of options. Take a moment to see this option and see whatever option you chose, and just the sensation. Just stay there present with your breath and with this shape. And then just let that go. Shake out the legs. Take a moment, see if you can see the feeling, sense the feeling and difference on the right leg that you just worked on and the left leg. Does the right leg feel more alive? And then left foot up in the strap. Active isolated stretching for that left leg. Again, those of you who have decided to do something different, just do something different while we're doing this. Then hold again. Go back to the breath. Presence, just with the breath, the body, the shape, the space between. Sensations, flex the foot, sensory perceptions. Then lengthen that left, take the strap into that left hand, and it goes down to the side. Again, you can put a block under that leg. You can use your elbow and work on strengthening that bicep. Takes a lot of strength in that left arm, so make sure that's going to be okay for you, because you can always put something there to hold you there. Again, we're taking a little less time to do this series today, just because my consciousness takes us where it seems we need to go when I create the flow for the class. It just comes out of me, so I never really know what we're going to do. Left leg comes up, cross over, right hand takes the strap, or both hands take the strap, and you can hold the strap with both hands, and you could take a cushion or a block between the legs. That lessens the strain on all parts of the body. If you want to feel it a little deeper and you don't want to lessen that strain, then let go of the block or cushion idea and just press the elbow into the floor. Right hand holds the strap. Go back to the breath, the shape, the sensations. Then lift that leg up, right foot on the floor, cross over. You can use the strap behind the leg or a towel, whatever you've got, or lace the fingers under the leg or on top of the leg, and your foot can always be on a wall or the edge of a couch or chair. Then just take a moment, take another couple breaths. The spine is grounded into the earth. You can notice what happens when you pull the knees in with your hands, and you shoulders are engaged, and then relax them. Shoulders are lengthened. Arms are lengthened out. And then release that. And this time, drop the knees side to side. Feet are on the floor. Just release the pelvis. And then before we come to a little Shavasana, press into the feet and do the cerebral spinal fluid balancer. So you're balancing this fluid that goes up and down the spine. Any possible kinks that could have happened from bumps or bangs or old injuries, even old injuries way back. The cerebral spinal fluid, this connection between the base of the spine and the center of the skull, will also hold your whole history. So it holds all accidents that have happened along the way, all traumas and dramas. And we just want to keep balancing it, pressing from the feet, letting the body go from sacrum to the back of the head. And then pause. Come into stillness for a moment. I'm just going to widen my feet and drop my knees together in constructive rest. If it feels better to you to lengthen out the legs, then just come to the lengthening. Coming to stillness, allowing yourself to integrate the practice. From the time we got on the screen and Mer showed us her stairs, to the music that we played, to the holding into our hearts all those who suffer, to understanding how Buddha related the suffering of humanity and the understanding of the journey to the cessation of suffering. That it's inevitable, and that the journey also includes how do you release yourself from suffering. The noble, the 4 parts of the noble path. Keep relaxing into the floor and take a moment to just let go. And if you're on the landing of your new stairs and you've been listening to the ocean, allowing yourself to honor those planks that you're on, and that creativity and the resilience and strength, and always all of us sparkling to that creation that we now know is on a property where the sand dunes have been affected by climate change, by the rising sea level. We can all take ourselves there, and we can expand in our consciousness, expanding that little landing to hold all of us lying there on the deck, listening to the ocean after a yoga practice. Presence, space between, breath, relaxation, merging with the earth, merging with the ocean, honoring the recycling of wood, first used for a cabin and now for stairs. And as a metaphor for all of us, of however you can use the metaphor of building stairs, perhaps from some place that you've, a loss that you've had, and building the stairs to come up, building a landing on which to rest as you're making the climb. You could use the stairs as one step at a time, one breath at a time. Bringing the hands to our heart. May we have peace, and may what we do here go out onto the world and make more peace. Then releasing that and releasing the posture, you can stay right here. You don't need to move. Come back to the screen if you want. Come back consciously, rolling over to your side perhaps. Take a breath. Pressing into the hands, coming up, take a breath. Mermaid position. Get your body grounded and centered before coming all the way up.